Preview TV, new media with a difference.
Hello, good evening. Once again, it's Spencer Aniwelu, and I'm your host, a co-host today. The co-host is Merlin. Lady Marlene. Lady Marlene, say hello, please.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Private Television.
Yes, you're very welcome to Private Television today. Today's program is going to be a part 2 of a program we did on Tuesday. We were a PDP chieftain and a governorship aspirant. The reason why we said we would have to bring him back again was we had a few issues in terms of internet. It wasn't that steady, but also he had so much to talk about, and we felt it was only fair we give him enough time to tell Nigerians and more specifically, importantly, Anambarians, what he intends to do for his people if he's given this, well, I'll say once in a lifetime opportunity to be the governor of Anambra State. So, Melin, I'd like you to introduce our guest today, please.
Good evening and welcome back again, everyone. This program is designed for only, like Spencer said, Anambra PDP politicians. I use the word politicians because is the governorship election review or in view for Anambra people. And today we have a barrister who also doubles as PDP chieftain, and he's also the governorship aspirant for Anambra State. He's none then Barrister Obunike Ohaegbu. Barrister, you are welcome, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Private once again. You know, you were so captivating last time that we had to bring you back here on Thursday. You're welcome. Usually the program is every Thursdays, but we brought in on Tuesday thinking we should be able to cover up everything that we're not
able to be here again today.
You are welcome, sir. You are welcome. Spencer, over to you.
Barrister, you know, last time we spoke, I think we ended at the burning issue at the time, which was to do with the massacre that happened in Enugu State. You know, so obviously, as usual, our hearts still goes out to Igbo people who lost their lives and the families, and we hope that the federal government will do. I heard there's an inquiry going into that, but I want us to talk about an issue which we're going to start with today. It's the issue of this is to do with Igbo land specifically. The last time we heard about our traditional setting, we heard that the governor somehow suspended this is the first time I've even hearing about it. He suspended 12 Igwes or so. And I'm wondering, if you become the governor, is this something that you feel is right for our Igweship or Ezeship, as you know, I don't know how you put it.
Well, my brother, I wouldn't want to actually sound too strong on the sitting governor because he has the information probably that is not available to me. But you know what? By the grace of God, if I become the governor of Anambra State in 2021, if I'm elected the governor of Anambra State 2021, one of the least of the problems I will bother about is the movement of the Igbo's.
Yes.
When they travel to Abuja and who they travel to and who they go to, who they travel to see. I think is elevation of the office to a level that is most unfortunate. I don't want to sound, as I said, I don't want to sound too strong, but it will not be my business. It will not be my business as the governor of Anambra State to start monitoring whom the Igbo's have interacted with. What will I be afraid of? The Igbo's can travel anywhere. Are they not human beings? Are they not in the Anambra? I've seen the Igbo's of their community.
So I think the argument was that the Igbo's there's a procedure, there's a protocol that needs to be followed. So they need to take what's it called? They need to take permission, or there's a procedure which they should have followed.
So a procedure. That's what I see. I don't want to go into. I don't want to be boxed into corner of argument on the rules and procedures and all that. It's obvious that the governor was having problems with a particular person, and the Igbo's decided to identify with that person and he decided to actually, I will not force the Igwes to support me. I will not force the Igwes to be with me. I will not force any Anambra to support me. All Roman will determine where they will stand.
True.
Do you understand me? So why would you coerce them into doing what they are not happy doing? There should be a liberty to identify with whomever they want to identify with. The truth is that if I were the governor, probably the person the Igwes traveled with, I wouldn't even give him that level of attention the state government is giving.
Okay.
Not out of disrespect, but because the office of the governor cannot. I will make sure that the office of governor is, is not Obunike Ohaegbu. That office should be respected. And if you get to the level that your handlers are exchanging words with a particular individual in the state, no,
okay.
Wow. And then from the before you go on your the list you have for us from the Igwes, can we take it back to the youths? What programs do you intend to have for the youths when you get into the office?
The youth will determine my policy. I'm sure the 60% of people who are going to work with me are going to be younger than me.
Okay. When you say younger than you, below 30, are you saying you will employ youths below 30?
I will employ youths that are younger than me, below 50.
Okay. Okay.
There are certain things, for instance, don't get me wrong, experience comes with age as well. Exactly. I'm not going to write off people who have the experience. For instance, in doing this project, I engaged some retired permanent secretaries. They assisted me to get the information, and I'm most grateful to them. I'm working with that information. But in terms of the execution, they wouldn't have the energy to do what I expect to be done. I could be going to work, for instance, I could be going to work Monday to Sunday. I've told you, and you see, when we say these things, people will laugh at you. We say these things for you to know. You can quote me. You can say, when you were running for this office, you can throw the video like what we are doing now. You can throw it back to me. Look at what you promised. I said something about the Biafran Museum Center. If I don't do that, if I don't say anything that within 1 year of my inauguration, throw it back to me.
Yes, definitely.
You see, a lot of people keep silent on some of these issues. I don't want to offend. Okay, let me not offend the federal government. Okay, let me not offend this group. No, tell us who you are. Tell us who you are. If you don't have an opinion on everything that matters, you have no business with Agwoka. That is why we need people. That's why it's not good to hire somebody who is not interested in the job, or to hire somebody a month to the election and bulldoze your way because you have the powers and contacts and money to do that, and impose the person when you don't even know the person's opinion on issues. The person probably, just like the incumbent governor, he never voted for any election in Anambra State before he was made the governor. Probably his election as the governor was the first time he participated in Anambra. And these guys from the outside, they regard politicians as criminals in theory.
Yes.
They regard politicians, so they come as saints and pretend to, this mosaic mentality and all that. If you, for instance, the incumbent governor, if you tell him this is not the way we do it, the natural thing will be, and that shuts you up. So that's why people like us, the ban has not been lifted. I'm not running for governor yet. I'm consulting, but we need to start saying what we could do. People should start challenging us, asking us questions. I've refused to hire PR personnel to write for me what I'm going to do as a governor. Check on all the social media platforms. I don't have people telling people what I will do. I tell you directly what I will do. If I don't have the time to be on Facebook and respond to you now, if I made the governor, is that the time I will have to respond to those issues?
I like it. That's true. Yeah. It's true.
But people are taking advantage of the unemployment we have in Nigeria. 20,000, 30,000. You get somebody to kill himself for you. You understand what I'm saying? We need people to start, and that's why I commend you, Spencer, and let the mind what you guys are doing. Get people who want to be the governors, people who want to be governor of Anambra State. Let them come out and talk. What do they intend to do?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are not interested in their spin doctors. We shouldn't be interested in their handlers. If the people are too busy to talk to us now, that means they are too busy to be governors.
That's true.
So going back to the question you asked, I'm telling you as the governor, so that we don't lose track. I'm telling you as the governor, I will not be bothered about the movement of the Igwes to Abuja.
Okay, Barrister, thank you for that. I wanted to let you take your time this time. You know how last time we went halfway. I want you to start from maybe we touch agriculture once more, and then you take your time and go through the rest of the. I think you have 6 more points to go. So give us agriculture, because the way I see agriculture in Anambra State is, I feel agriculture should be state-driven in terms of helping the youth to get into the agricultural business. So in terms of maybe leasing of land, giving them fertilizers and stuff like that, I think the governors need to take charge and make it a duty to do that. So what would be your difference in terms of agriculture if you become the governor?
First thing we need to have an agreement is, as of today, what our people do in agriculture, just to sustain themselves. That's what we basically do. If I'm privileged to be governor of Anambra State in 2021, to be inaugurated in 2022, my target will be first agriculture for security for the state, food security for the state.
Yep.
Then profitable agriculture for the people and a source of employment.
Yes.
That means, one, the state will have food. 2, there will be job creation. Our youth will get into agriculture. They will be busy and do less of econ on Facebook and other social medias for politicians. Agriculture as a dependent source of raw materials, foreign exchange earning, and a diversified economy. What am I talking about? I will not come to tell Indian Anambra now, Ogu, £5 million have been shipped from Anambra.
Yes.
People will see what is happening on ground. And you don't really need to spend state money to do that. How will you achieve it? Just support and encourage small and medium farmers to embark on commercial farming and provide market access and leakage is simple.
Yes.
One of the youths awakening their interest in sustainable agriculture by making agriculture attractive to them.
That's true.
That is where you can prepare the future generation for the challenges of feeding and growing population.
True.
Let me give. I gave an example the last time we spoke. That a colleague of mine invited me. He told me what they are doing in Nasarawa State. Nasarawa is a close-door neighbor to FCT. Yes. I went there. This man finished as a federal commissioner, Public Complaints Commission. With his severance, he got home. He discovered that a rice processing factory in Lafayette, that what they do is to encourage people. They will sell the grains or whatever it's called to you. You plant. They will assist you with fertilizer. You buy at a highly subsidized rate. They know the seeds they want. They give it to you. they sell it to you, they lease tractors to you. So what my friend did was to lease land, get people to do the farming, buy the rice from them, and at the end of the farming, he makes a whole lot of money by just putting in money.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know. My system is playing up. I don't know what it's doing. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
But are you frozen?
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
So what he does that, and he makes a whole lot of money. Are we still together?
Yes, we are.
So what he does, he makes a whole lot of money. Bringing it back to Anambra, what I will do is to encourage people. For instance, if you start, there's what I encourage my mother to do, and that's what she does every farming season. She planted few plantains. In fact, all the land I have in Ubona, she's planting plantains all over the place.
Yes.
She makes a lot of money doing that. There was a point when I was growing up, you see people, of course, before these security challenges and fencing, you see people plant, what's it called? Onubu, bitter leaf.
Yes.
They use it to do fence around their homes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you see, at that level, if we encourage people, there could be, these are people who could be doing it to make one or two things out of it. Area you are not using in your compound, have you planted plantain there?
That's true.
We get good species and distribute to people. So whatever you do, that's the reason why it's even allowed. As a federal civil servant, the only thing you are allowed to do is to farm. So you see that even within your homes, there are so many things you could do and make money. What the government is going to do, we get the big boys come into it for export, for distribution to other states. We have the land. I have gone through Anambra North, connecting Anambra North towards move towards Aguleri to what is it called? To connect towards Kogi. That area you will see a lot of to tell you that our people for those of Bochie. If you get to that area, my late brother, from my town, the PNMera, he has very large expanse of land with palm trees and all that. And when he finishes there, very large expanse of land. These are people from Newi or Axis. They have massive expanse of land. Why can't the state move in?
That's true.
The only thing Anambra needs is support. They just be created. There is somebody from Anambra. Let me give you an example. Somebody from Anambra. There's a factory he's putting together in Agoka. So there was a day I passed there. So it's obvious. We opposite Barr here in Oka. So I spoke with somebody who knows the owner of the place. I said, is the state government supporting the person? He said, no, that from what he gathered, let me say unverified so that I don't create avoidable problems. Unverified information he got is that the only time you see people with the state government plate number in front of the factory is when they come to collect money, taxes and all that. This is a company that is not yet open for business.
True.
The only relationship, the only time you visit there, as we speak, from what I gathered, unverified, is that the governor has never been there. You can't put up such structure in Anambra State, and you come to Anambra, you don't come to have breakfast with me. It's not possible.
True.
That factory will employ no less than 1,000 people.
Wow.
The government is not interested. Oh, if you had a tax, you are supposed to be paying this. All the trucks supplying things to the factory. If you are moving out, you pay money. if these other people get you, you pay money. If you pay in Oka, if you are getting to Onitsha, you pay money. No, that's not how to run this thing.
That's true.
So what I will do in agriculture, I've told you, is just provide the platform, encourage. What because Charles is doing a great work. Although I was not happy that I even saw him with the Cross River State Governor discussing on what he should do in Cross River. He will not do that. If I'm the governor, I'll go to his house. I'll move the government house to his house. The job must be created in Anambra State. We can be supplying to Cross River at highly subsidized rate, but the factory will be in Anambra.
Okay.
The factory will be in Anambra. So as a governor, I will encourage, the state government will be involved, but we will encourage the Anambra to invest. A lot of people will realize that if you raise $30,000 to go to China to import goods,
true.
You get to Lagos, you pay demurrage.
That's true.
You pay demurrage, the alliance will harass you, and this person will harass you and all that. That if you get half of that and come to Anambra, let's say you decide to do poultry, that the money we make before the goods will come from the day you travel to China to the day the goods will come is enough. Is
yes, that's joking.
And sell. Do you know that on daily basis, if you go to Anambra and point at any fish and they kill for you, which they call point and kill,
yeah,
the fish is from the southwest.
Wow.
The chicken you eat in Anambra is from the southwest. Even when I tried, there was a year in my compound, I decided to breed 50 chicks. Okay.
Yeah.
I paid, and they told me where to go and pick it from Afonobi. I went to Afonobi. Those people came, I went there before, they said you have to come before 7. By 6 o'clock in the morning, I was in Anambra there, they have called me. I got there, we were more than 10, waiting for this J5. Had a lot of them packed. The people that were not there, they kept it for they waited until the shop owner came and they left. And that's what they do 3 times every week. So you can imagine, so to even have something as small as hatch,
true.
These guys make millions from Anna.
It seems it's let's see. Seems the internet's frozen, but having internet issues.
Who are in Idumata are people who are in Aspa. So why won't you see? Do you know why I'm saying this? Do you know why I'm saying this? And one of the reasons why I'm running for governor. A lot of people who are running for governor or who will be governors do not know what is happening in Anambra. As I told you last time, I did my primary school in Anambra in Opo, in the South local government. I did my secondary school. Partly in Opo. And then I started in Opo and finished in Opo Memorial Grammar School in Newi. My university in Oka.
Yes.
So, one part of Anambra that I have not been to, and I understand what should be done. What I'm only asking the Anambra is to hire me, employ me.
Yes.
I employ me to work for them. I will make sure that the youth are fully involved in agriculture. They are the ones that will drive it.
Yeah.
In fact, it will be during the Obunike's time. He was saying, "This Obunike think home philosophy."
Yes.
My own is that if you are in the village, you don't have. It will be so obvious if you don't have plantain, you don't have chicken in your house, you don't have anything that is going to give you money. That you are not on Anambra.
All right, thank you, Chief. So, Merlin, okay, Chief, I was going to interject there. Merlin, have you got a question for him? Because I wanted you to Chief, I wanted you every now and again to give us a breather, and then we can step in, and then that way it becomes more of a conversation than you being on the express route. So, Melanie, I want you to ask him another question, but
Yeah,
it's in
because
line with what you want to say, obviously.
agriculture was getting, I got carried away because I'm so much into agriculture myself too that I got carried away. I got captivated there. I was going to take him away from agriculture a little bit towards the civil servant because you mentioned if you have like the civil servants, you expect them to retire to agriculture. So are you telling me what's your view on the state of the civil service in Enugu right now as we speak?
In Anambra. Yeah.
I mean, in Anambra, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope you're not thinking so much about this incident in Enugu.
So I tell you what, let me correct. I tell you
Yeah,
what I did.
I
Yes, the
understand
mind was
you are so passionate about what happened and the lives that were lost. So
I am.
everything
I'm
now is about
telling you.
Enugu. I understand. I perfectly understand.
I tell you,
Okay, let me
yes.
tell you. Let me tell
Yes.
you. You see, I have been privileged to be to work as a CEO of a government agency where the major petitions we were getting were from the people who are retired as civil servants. I was brought up by my mom. I told you earlier last week, my father died when I was just 18 months old, and I was brought up by my mother. It was after the death of my father that my mom, who was a petty trader, decided to, do more for herself and became a teacher, retired as headmistress. And I just told you a few minutes ago that the little land I have within my house, that what my mother does now is to plant plantain everywhere, plantain banana everywhere,
Mhm.
plantain banana everywhere. To the extent that every half a day, the major market in Obo, I'm from Obo in Ineo South local government. The major market in Obo is Afro. So every half a day, she moves, in fact, on every day, she moves around her plantation to see if she could get one plantain to take to her for to be able to buy it. So what does that tell you? That only the best way to survive is agriculture, and you encourage the civil servants to move into it.
Yeah.
I have the only set of people who move into it as we speak now are the retired generals.
Yes, that's true.
I have quite a number of friends who are military officers. Well, if you drive from Abuja to Kefi, most of the farms you see there, most of the massive lands acquired there for agriculture are owned by the military officers. If you could remember the former army general that was a person trial that was killed the other time, he was coming back from his farm.
Bade. Okay, General Bade. Is it Bade?
Yes,
Bade?
he was coming out from his farm.
Yeah.
So what it means is that is the only way to go. Coming to civil servant, I cannot say categorically what their challenges in Anambra is, but having worked as a commissioner, public complaints commission,
Yes.
the first thing I discovered is that you need to plan for how they will to exit. They need to be well trained psychologically. If you notice, if somebody retires, somebody who is active retires this year, the next year he finds it difficult to even take care of his basic needs.
That's true.
So they need to plan well ahead, 2-3 years before retirement. You need to plan well. Where are you going to invest? As a state, the right thing will be for you to invest in agriculture. Then their pension scheme, with the PENCOM, what you have now is contributory pension. Instead of the old scheme where you retire, the government pays you. But now government makes contribution you make contribution and all that. We make sure that we have an arrangement where if you have a big agricultural firm coming into Anambra State, civil servants will be encouraged to come together, form cooperative, various cooperatives, to be able to access funds if they are going to go into agriculture on retirement. The cooperative is on some of these things, people will ask you, where are you going to get the money? Obuhego State. I told you a story about banks building shops for traders. I told you that story. So if you have that kind of a thing, banks can fund that. A lot of financial institutions could fund that. Give money to the cooperatives. In Anambra, in fact, in the southeast, do you know that most of the agricultural incentives or programs being done by federal government,
yes,
people do not key into it?
That's true.
As a former commissioner, I have friends from the north. Somebody will say, please, I apply for this, there is a loan for tractor and all that. I applied, I need you to guarantee me. You sign guarantor form for the person. The next time you call, you say he has got the tractor, he's working, I'm grateful. We don't do it.
Yes.
Because of what happened after the war. Our people felt that Anibo, there was no money in Anibo. And for them to, if they stay in Anibo, that they will die of hunger. There was no economic activity. Nearby we don't happen. Only project monitor the place or the he comes back to pick his brother.
Yes.
We've done that. We've created the wealth. It's time to look back. There are so many things that could be done. That's why somebody buying a Volkswagen spare parts still does that business. He has been able to create 5 million naira, 10 million naira. As far as he's concerned, what he's thinking of how to do groupage, how to 3 or 4 to import a container.
True.
They will send money. The Chinese will take years to do the production, 6 months. At times you do, these guys, these businessmen, pity them.
True.
They are ones that they will put in money 4 or 5 months.
Yes.
They've not seen it. So what I will do is to encourage such people, even with the civil servants, even as you are working as a civil servant, it will be the orientation, the publicity will be so much that if you live in your house where you stay and there is nothing you do to produce food, you should be ashamed of yourself.
That's true.
Because these days, even Ogo and all that, you can put them in buckets. You can plant them around your house, water them.
Yes, and they grow. Yeah.
And they grow.
Mm-hmm.
So if everybody is producing in Anambra State, you will say those people who are there, those people who have big agricultural firms, who are they going to sell to? They will sell. They will give to the other states. The way we buy chicken and all that, the way we buy fish from Oyo State, we start selling to the other people. The Anambra they produce it again.
That's true.
So that is one thing I will do, because you need. Let me tell you, it's one of the best ways to fight corruption. If a farmer, if a civil servant knows that on retirement, if not for anything, this chicken and all that in the house, he will increase it 3 months. Do you know that during Christmas and Easter and Iriji, you have 3 months in between? So what it means that every 3 months in the southeast, you have a major market for any agricultural product you have.
Yes.
So if you start raising your chicks by February, you are guaranteed by April you will reap.
Yeah.
In a certain April, you may from KG will reach.
That's true.
And then the major one, the Papanuku Christmas.
Yes. There should be ample food.
And,
supper,
and
ample supper.
we have Miri Anambra round.
Yes.
In fact, if you go to Obaru, if I travel now, what I do is I drive down to Obaru area to buy fish direct from the river. So our people are already doing that. So all you need to do is to now make the river to flow into your own farm or into whatever you have.
And that's but I will go. Everything will come in.
Of course.
That's true.
And it's even better than pond. It's not really pond.
Yeah.
Because it's natural water that will flow through it.
Yeah.
You just should create the space for water to flow. And if you do it if you have a massive land to do that. A friend was telling me about getting one of my friends was telling me that he will go and invite the Israelites to come and I say, Israel.
Agriculture, okay.
I don't need them.
You don't need them, yeah.
We don't need them. Except to come and train our people. We pay them to go.
Yeah.
And we'll make a lot of money doing that.
That's true. And then, Chief, now you talked about the water. What came into my head was this burning issue. Most Anambrans believe that. I know it's a federal issue. It's on the exclusive list. The issue of seaports. You touched on importation. You touched on if you become the governor, are you going to lobby the federal government to get somehow? I know it's not your duty as a governor. Yes, you have representatives and all of that. But is there going to be some sort of a coalition of the Southeast to lobby the federal government to try and dredge the River Niger? If we can dredge the River Niger, for instance, and get ourselves, I don't know the technicalities involved in it. I'm just using my common sense to say this. Why can't we have a seaport in Anambra State?
Let me tell you, one of the problems we have is that, for instance, I'm telling you from experience, I've been privileged to work in the National Assembly.
Yes.
I've drafted a lot of bills that were passed into laws, motions that but they were not mine because as a professional, if somebody engages you for services, you are doing that for the person.
That's true.
But the person did not take the experience I've got from doing that.
True.
The first thing is to have a collaboration between the state.
Yes.
And the people who are representing us in the National Assembly.
Okay.
Okay, let me give you an instance. I told you about we having 592 primary health centers in Anambra.
Yes.
People in their zonal interventions, they put free health interventions. They'll go to church field. They'll go to public places. Close up, name because number for them fibroid and all that, name female and all that.
Yes.
The money you use in doing that, with proper collaboration between the governor and the members of the National Assembly, if that is done through the primary health centers. So instead of you bringing people to the field, I'll say, okay, this week, so person's intervention, go to the primary health centers. If he has doctors and all that will attend to you, there will be activities in those areas.
Yes.
There are certain things that I shouldn't say, but I'm telling you, a proper PR and proper relationship with the members of National Assembly representing your state, irrespective of party differences. Irrespective of party differences, even if your worst enemy is elected member House of Reps, he cannot come to Anambra without coming to say hello to you.
That's true.
That's true.
If he doesn't come, if I find out he's in Anambra, also to Ababo Next time, after giving the governor breakfast and his entourage, he will prefer to come to the governor's lodge to have dinner instead of allowing the governor to come to his house.
That's true.
From that, there is something different between you and them. For crying out loud, Ebrusia governor, where will you be?
You'll be a normal citizen again. Yeah, true. Back to being
Make them feel good. And we're enormous resources that you can tap for the benefit of the state.
That's true.
There are so many things. There are so many things in the National Assembly there. I will make sure that most of them, if they are doing seminars, conferences, most of them will be done in Anambra.
Yes.
The state will provide a platform. Come to my state. There is no way high semester every year you don't drop 5 billion from the state, from the federal purse in the state. And this issue of doing this borehole, doing this, and at the end of the day, if you move around, you find out that some of these small interventions where they did boreholes, after 6 months, the boreholes will pack up. Where they do street light, in fact, it got to the point, even in my community, we will do the member representing us in the House of Reps, we do street lights.
Yes.
Solar power and light. The one for the state government will come. For hope to see and to see as if it was nothing.
Yes.
It's lack of collaboration. My brother, take the credit. But yes. I need to know what do you have. What are you going to? You have zonal intervention fund. Because they will not know now.
Yes.
I'm not being brought back from US or from anywhere. I'm on ground.
Yes.
Or being brought from bank or wherever or from hotel and manage it. No. I'm involved in the business. That's why people say people who are active in politics that they are criminals. No. Because what you do is that you go and get somebody who has no experience, he comes and learn on the job.
Yes.
2022 for zonal intervention. 200 million. Honorable Lady Marlin, what do you intend to do with the money?
That's true.
Your Excellency, actually, me street light. Okay. Honorable Spencer, you guys, his federal constituency and your federal constituency and yours are close. What do you intend to do? Why don't you do street light? Street light. How much you were giving 200 million by the for your zonal intervention? How much of it are you putting on street light? 50 million. No problem. There are projects. How much are you putting? 50 million. The state government will intervene. But you know what you are going to do? We will synchronize them. The ones that are yours, you put your board on it, put everything on it. Yes. But let's harmonize it. You come back. The state will plan it with you. You send your representative. No project. You don't allow any member of the National Assembly to waste any project.
Yes. But Barrister,
all of them need that collaboration with the state government to be able to perform better.
Okay.
Only for the federal government. He will say, Governor, only speaker. It will make my position stronger.
Yes.
Governor, invite that chairman appropriation when you come to Abuja to have breakfast with him. If you make my position stronger, you will attract a lot of projects from the Anambra.
Yes. All right.
I'm talking out of experience.
Yeah, but Barrister, you spoke eloquently, and we can see that it's just something that you know clearly how to do. Yes. The reason why I posed you, we have a couple of guests who want to, because we want people to ask you, make interactive, who want to ask you questions. I have Ijele. He's one of. I'm going to bring both of them on actually. I have Ijele and I have Mr. Okoye. I'm going to add them both here. Ijele, can you hear us? Mr. Okoye, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I think we'll start by Ijele. Ijele, if you got a question for Barrister, please go ahead. Ask him a question.
Sorry, before you say, let's still let people know that we're still on diaspora political leadership. It's called the Diaspora Political Leadership Platform for PDP Governorship Election. So you can go on with let people understand where they are now, yeah?
Yes.
You can go ahead, Ijele.
Okay. Go ahead, Ijele. Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, sir, Mr. Ohaegbu.
Good evening.
My name is Chukwuka Ohaegbu. that Ijele Speaks you are seeing on the screen is the name of my Facebook page. I'm not from Anambra State, but I was born in Onitsha. My parents they still live in Onitsha right now. My siblings, even those that are not in Onitsha, always congregate in Onitsha every now and then. I'm more or less an Anambrarian, and I know Anambra very well, more than my own home state. And I'm someone who knows almost everywhere in Igbo land. But say that, for to make that statement makes one understand where I'm coming from. Like if I know Igbo land very well, and I still tell you that the best place I know very well is Anambra. So I was born there. I was actually born in Menax Hospital. So I just want to give the background because I look at you as someone who loves to speak in details. That's why I explain myself, I introduce myself this way to you. But that being said, having listened to you, I will please want to ask you some questions. Like, for how long have you been in government, please, if you don't mind?
Well, I'm not in government. You have more questions, or
I don't want you to forget, because I want us to take it one after the other. Just a few questions. I'm not interrogating you anyway, and it's not my own show. Yes. Even though I would love to host you. Let me just ask you questions.
You gotta put them all together. Okay. Yes, it's better.
You know,
okay. Okay, please let me just ask them all.
No, that is fine with me. You know, in Igbo land, Ijele Bunukumong. So the moment you were introduced as Ijele, you see, I adjusted myself.
No, sir. It's the spirit. It's the spirit anyway, not a person. It's not about a person. It's about the spirit in you and what you have.
Well, I wouldn't know how many years to say, but let me tell you. When I finished my second master's in international trade law in London in 2007, I finished the program. I got my certificate on October 15 or 16, 2007. I went straight to Heathrow Airport to buy tickets, and I left London to Abuja. In that October, I started work as a senior legislative aide to a member House of Reps. I wouldn't know your definition of being in government. If that suits into your definition of being in government, what it means is that when I came back from London in 2007, I started working with a federal government agency. From that 2007 to 2012, May 14, 2012, I was inaugurated and sworn in as a federal commissioner, which is just the equivalent to Minister of State. From that 2012 till after 2015 elections, I was a federal commissioner until after the 2015 elections. We are familiar with what happened in 2015. After that, I was equally called back to the National Assembly to work with the Speaker because I was a little bit involved. They believe I was familiar with bills and all that. So they needed my services, especially for constitution amendment. So I was put in the office of the Speaker, House of Reps. I was there till after the last election. And I moved into private practice. So you could say that from 2007 to 2019, that I have been in and around government agencies. I'm talking to you now from my private law firm, so I'm not a private person, not in government. But of course, still doing some consultations for.
Okay, now let me ask the main question because I just want to know, get some things about the background. Like when I asked if you've been in government or work with the government, that's not as if that's the qualification, because I believe the only qualification you need to run a state or run anything is character. Forget about where you've been before, or as long as you know what to do. There is no adult, there is no functional adult who is not mad, who cannot run a state. All these things you said are all nice, but my question is this: You've outlined many things, the solutions, how we are going to do, which is not rocket science, like someone said in the comment section, which is what people like me have been harping on. We've been shouting, we've whimpered, we've whined, we've wailed about it. It's nice. But my thing is this, I want to know, like in all those places you serve, let us know how you've impacted the lives of people around you or your community, or as a minister for state, right? As a former minister for state, or
Yes.
Commissioner, as a federal commissioner.
Okay, as a former federal commissioner, please tell us what you've been able to achieve with your office and the things the lives you've actually impacted directly. Because let us know the ones you've done already before we can even see if we can take you seriously or not. Like me, I'm not a partisan person. I'm not a partisan hack. I'm for the best hand to lead. So please tell us what you've done so far, like actually what you've actually done for your community.
Okay, let me tell you,
with your immediate community and the rest.
Okay, let me tell you what, first of all, I'm not a money bag, but let me tell you what I have done from the little. Let me tell you from what I have done from the little I felt I could do. The first thing I did, because that is even one of the reasons why I believe that what in the Anambra need is just somebody they will trust. A lot of things will be done. I wouldn't talk about people that were, I represented FCT in Public Complaints Commission. Let's forget about that. Let me do, what have I been able to do as Obunike Ohaegbu? Let me tell you one. As an individual like you, I felt that we needed a platform within the community to be able to intervene. That platform we create, we give people the opportunity to do whatever they could do. I registered what is called a patriotic forum. What have you been able to do? We had issues with the magistrate court in my place. We intervened and we renovated it. Our police station had problems. We intervened and we renovated it. For almost 4 consecutive years, we intervened on Idi Region Dubai. Last year, between August to December last year, we selected some people from each. We have 6 wards in Opo. We selected 2 per ward and took them to Oka. We paid for their training. They were trained. They were being trained on. What do I call it? To be able to be productive themselves. These guys were trained for 3 months. We paid all the expenses. Then what have I done? The same group of people I registered. I'm only privileged to be the chairman of board of trustees. I'm not saying that I have done that. I don't want to go into what I have been able to do as an individual with the limited resources I have. If you go to Ona as we speak, I can send you the video. The fence of our general hospital caved in. We are spending loads of money there. As we speak today, there is no functional borehole. One of us, through the platform of a patriotic forum, has decided to provide that. In fact, I announced that yesterday. When I've been discussing with Anambra State, you see, because some of these things I was told, I discovered at the course of my investigation to be the governor. Some of these things I discovered. I wanted to get involved and see how these things could be put into practice. The Anambra Health Insurance Scheme. I've been able to encourage some of our members. We've shortlisted names, and then we are going to pick 10 people per ward to benefit from that. The Anambra Insurance Scheme, they have given a concession to us that if we have more than 20 people, instead of the 12,500 naira, that we're going to pay 12,000. We want to get those people involved. There are limits to what you could do as an individual, but definitely not doing at all is not an excuse. So I wouldn't want to start taking credit of, oh, this person got employment here. No, I'm probably not going to that. But I'm telling you what you asked me about my community. What have I been able to get people? And let me tell you, these things we do, people run into millions of naira. And the monies are contributed by Ndubo. Just for the mere fact that they believed that what I was doing was transparent. Or what we were doing was transparent. And none of them was asking how much has Obunike Ohaegbu contributed. What they look at, what is it, what is the next thing that, oh, this, we are going to do it. Even in some cases, people will say, don't contribute. Or Patriotic Forum will not contribute money. I'm going to, like the borehole, I want to take it up personally. And of course, you tell them, but look at the person who is doing it. Of course, people will believe that you are the one behind it. So some of these things I'm talking about, I've been able to test run them. You heard what I said. I went to Nobi to pick some chicks that were sent from Oyo State. My brother I did not breed all of them. I gave them food. Even some people did it free range, and they made money out of it. In fact, one of them still does it up to date. I gave him 4.
Yes.
He sold it in December. I used part of the money to.
Boris, I'm going to cut you off. Regina, thanks for the question. I'm going to have to bring in Mr. Koye in.
Okay.
His question, we need to hear him. He's waiting patiently. Mr. Koye, please take the question.
Yeah, but you still stay in the studio. Don't leave the studio.
Yeah, don't leave the studio. Stay in the jail. Stay with us. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm quite okay with the gentleman talking. Thank you for coming to answer our question. My name is Tochukwu Okoye. I live in London here, and I'm from Dunukofia local government, Ukulu. I'm from Ukulu in Dunukofia local government. So I'm from Anambra State. So my question is, have you reflected on the performance of the current governor and his government? And how would you assess their performance to date? And how would you go about sort of improving it further if they have made any improvement? That is to say.
Boris, did you quite hear him? Did you hear him?
I heard him.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Tochukwu, down for your question. Let me make one thing clear. Chief Willie Obiano is running his second term. He will not be on the ballot in 2021. So what I intend to do is to see how I could play down so that I don't make him an issue in what I'm saying and what I hope to do. But you deserve an answer for your question. The answer I'm going to give you is that there are so many, he has done well within his capacity and the information he has and the experience he has and what he believes he could do in the Anambra. If you ask me to rate him over 10, if I give him 3, I'm being too generous. But I still don't want to, you know, if I don't want to make him an issue because he's not going to be on the ballot, so that we don't lose focus. I've mentioned about the taxation, how it's not synchronized, not predictable. People do not know what is happening. And the course of my speech, when I say that it's not being done properly, I've even mentioned having cordial relationship with members of the National Assembly. He has not done that. In fact, most functions, look at most functions of the state, the members of the National Assembly are not involved. I will not get involved irrespective of the party. If I have a party. So I don't want to start mentioning the things. But let me tell you one thing. As at the time he assumed office, with all the sentiments, all the work that was done to ensure that somebody from Anambra North emerged. Before his emergence, we have 5 local governments. I'm giving you an example. 5 local governments in Anambra State without any presence. You know, some local governments have 10 towns, but you have 5 local governments without any presence of the state as per the, in terms of the provision of secondary health services within the local government. Out of that 5 local governments, 4 out of the local governments are from Anambra North. Last week I mentioned Anambra West, I mentioned Ayabelum, I mentioned Onitsha South, I mentioned Oyi. As he's leaving office, it's obvious that those 4 local governments from Anambra North that had no general hospital before he assumed office, it's not his fault. Because I didn't say they lost their general hospital. They never had one before he assumed office.
Let me cut you up, please, Obunike. Please, can you be specific? Because I know we haven't got too much time to go. Can you be specific what you're going to do in terms of improving the security, the economy of the state, social mobility and health of the state, and social health of the state? What are you going to do specifically? What kind of protocol are you going to put in place in order to improve the security in the states, the economics of the states, the social mobility of the people, and the health system in the states? What are you going to do specifically?
Thank you, Mr. Okoye. Obunike, please try your best to keep it concise because of time.
Yeah, because I thought it was a continuation of what we did last week. So what it means that I'm going back to what I have said.
Yes, to be fair, okay, he answered. This is like a part 2. Some of the questions he's answered a lot of them, but
because what it means is that I will go back to what I have already said about the state security, the things that the collaboration I said I'm going to have with the traditional rulers, with the communities, and with even the existing security structure. And last week I could remember I said vividly that insecurity is one of the major problems of the state. Mm-hmm. And I said I promise that I will transform the state security architecture by engaging the various security outfits in the state, including community involved in participation in most innovative manner to ensure they will have security. I told you last week how I'm going to involve the traditional rulers, how I'm going to create, involve the president generals, how I'm going to deal directly with people who are in charge of the security architecture, the DPOs. I should be able, as a governor, to be able to speak to the DPOs directly. As a governor, I should be able to know at all times what is happening in every community. As a governor, I should be able to reward every community leader, every security leader, every security agency leader that has done well in the state. And at the same time, I should be able to be in the position to say, this person is not part of my security architecture plans for Anambra. The same last week, we spoke about how I'm going to assist in job creation, provide a micro and macro-friendly economic policy environment. Last week, I said that I will create at least 1 million new jobs every year through small business loan guarantee scheme, run revolving loan scheme for entrepreneurs, and then get the Anambra to invest in agriculture. I only spoke at length how I'm going to cut cost of governance. Yes. And I promised last year that I don't know why I should have 400 SAs.
Okay. Yes.
And I told them the Anambra that I will only have 11 from each federal constituency of Anambra State. The other funds will be channeled towards job creation, towards encouraging people to move into agriculture, giving revolving loans. Because when you say you give revolving loans, people will ask you, where do you get the money from? Do you have an idea of how much people are being paid every month because they were given a letter that they are SAs. Meanwhile, they are in various locations, including abroad, getting alerts every month from the state government for doing nothing because they are needed for re-election. I don't need those people for re-election if my policy will go through. I don't need them. Okay, I need them, but I don't need them to be collecting stipend. Those monies will be invested in the state. And I spoke about what I would do in the health. Yeah. I told you that Anambra state doctors are the least paid in the entire federation. You see, I was thinking that today people would tell me, yes, the other day they said they were the least paid, that the way our hospitals are being managed is that what I said was wrong. Today, what you have is a doctor who is the CMD, who is the sole administrator. You don't have accountants, nobody is managing our hospitals. I'm going to make sure that proper format is put in place. People will manage hospitals because if you don't get it right from the management, you can't get it right at all. The doctor comes as a consultant of whatever position he goes, attend to the patient. But daily running of the hospitals, we have a team that will do that. Doctors are involved, nurses are involved. The people who are trained to manage hospitals will take over the management of Anambra State. I told you last time that the money that is being generated in Onitsha from my private findings, the general hospital in Onitsha North, there is no hospital in Onitsha South, local government. The general hospital in Onitsha North, the money you get there is enough to pay the type of people who are working in the Ministry of Health. I told you how I was going to close the loopholes, those leakages, block them for the state. The state will generate a lot of money. I will not be interested. I will not be interested so much in what is coming from the federation account. Is this allocation, monthly allocation, that is our major problem? That is what is creating corruption. Nobody, you are not generating anything. What they do as IGR today is to go, if they see a truck, they will get a truck. Somebody will take, somebody will be told, okay, you give the state 2 million, 10 million, 50 million every month. Make sure you collect bomb from the trucks on the road. You see all manner of human beings in the street collecting money. People who are opening shops being harassed.
Chief Obunike, Barrister, I'm going to interject now. I think Ijele Speaks wants to say something, and then one more from Okoye. Let's make it short, and before we wrap up the program.
Ijele, before you go on, let me just take one important question from the that somebody asked. He said, apart from your interest in becoming governor under PDP, do you think Igbos have any reason for supporting PDP after 15 years of zero projects in the whole of Igbo land? This is a very important question, and we must ask it. And this is from Chris Chidi.
Okay, well, what you ask yourself is in making your choices, all other options, it should not be done in isolation of the options you have. Mm-hmm. What are your alternatives? What are the options you have? If you are considering Mr. A or Party A, in your assessment of Party A, if Party A has done badly, if you compare Party A to Party B, will Party B be better? Will it be to your own advantage to continue with Party C? For instance, I don't think it's to the advantage of the Anambra State to continue to be isolated politically as a state. There is urgent need for us to be connected to the center politically. I told you something about getting involved and the intrigues in attracting projects from the Federation account through the National Assembly. You will not have that cloud if you have no members of National Assembly from your own political party who will accept to work with you. You need that level of collaboration to be able to achieve much. So that will leave you with APC. If you want Anambra State to be connected to the center politically, you only have APC. So when you talk about PDP, our alternative is APC. Do you actually believe that Anambra State will be better in that alternative, do you think you have a say in that alternative? There are so many things to be done, but you still need to work with people from outside your area to be able to achieve that. For instance, if you could build up a pressure group within your party, because as we speak today, I told somebody 3 years ago that the only option they have is to decongest Lagos for things to flow well. And the easiest way to decongest Lagos is to open up the the eastern ports, the One port, the Port Harcourt port, the Warri port. Even one could be created in Oguta. Then Onitsha inland port. You need to do that with strong connection to the center. If PDP has not delivered, as we are being made to believe now, what is the alternative to PDP? So, having said that, it's human beings we are talking about. Let's deal with people who could get things done. Let's try to do things differently this time in Anambra.
Okay, Barrister, thank you very much. We'll have to go on to Ijele now. You ask a question. Ijele, we're going to take them both together. Ask your question, and then Majo Koye ask your question, then he can answer both of them.
Okay. Sir, for the sake of our time, I would like to be as brief as I can, even though I'm not sure 3 hours will be enough for me to ask you the type of questions I want to ask. But you touched something now. I love the way you separated yourself from the policies of the PDP. You are not taking responsibility for what they did, but you are not actually leaving them, letting them off the hook that easily. That being said, PDP, you see, when you talk about Onitsha Inland Port and all these things, when you go from 1999 to 2015, you see how many times they gave money to people for that project. They ate it. You and I saw how Onitsha Road, 2004, Onitsha Road was completed, but it took the Anambra side. I know how long it took them and the type of money they said they spent there. Achku Denwa, who I'm not a fan of, a PDP guy, by the way, he used Julius Berger, finished. In fact, the job from the Imo side was more difficult than that of Anambra side, but I know how it happened. And the P2B kind of played it his best way, of which is none of his business, even though by then I knew he was a PDP man anyway. But that aside, sir, my last question for you is this. You talked about creating 1 million jobs. You know, I'm someone who would want everything explained to me to details. Government cannot create job. What government creates is a government job. And when you create a government job, you rely on the money you get on people to pay them. So when you say you want to create 1 million jobs in Anambra State, I need you to please explain to us. We heard when you talk about how our people can do this, can do that. Please explain to us how you are going to do that and where the money is going to come from. Because to create 1 million jobs means you have almost a nearly extensive amount of money. Another thing is this. Why is it that no one is talking about other things going on in Anambra State like mining? Does it mean that you don't know that they are mining things like I'm willing to go on record and tell people the things they are mining in Ebonyi State alone? And in Anambra State, has anyone in your party or have people who are the supposed stakeholders in Anambra State talked about the mining and every other thing they're taking from the land, of which they don't measure? They spread the money amongst them. And please, would you be willing, would you be kind enough to even expose some PDP guys who are still currently enjoying these things we are talking about here? Please, let me, in case you forgot the questions, the 2 questions are this. 1,
Yes.
The million jobs you are going to create, how are you going to fund it? And where exactly are those jobs going to come from? And who will be getting them? Two, the things they are stealing from the state, the mining, the concessions they are giving to people, which I've not seen anywhere in the newspaper. So if you don't know about it, please, how would you be in Anambra State and want to run for governorship in Anambra State and you don't know it? And if you do, are you willing to go to war, like political war, of which every war is political? Go on record and help people understand what is this story on the land first. That's my final question.
Okay. Oh, Mazokoye, I hope you catch that.
I'll be brief. Yeah. Mr. Obunike, my question is regarding our youth. I'm sure you will agree that we have a problem when it comes to our youth, our young ones. And that problem, I believe, stems from the educational system that we have in Nigeria, should I say, and since we're talking about Anambra State, what kind of policies would you put in place in order to ensure that our youth, our young ones, get good quality education? Because most of our people, we're talking about short-term problems. We're talking about infrastructures, economics, and all these things. But if you hand it over to ignorant people in the future, they're going to ruin it. It's going to become a wasted effort. So what kind of policies do you have in mind to put in place in order to educate our young people? Because this is a big problem. As far as our social well-being goes, it's a big problem, and it's brewing, and no one is talking about it seriously. Our youths are there, not knowing whether to go left or right due to lack of proper education, first-class quality education. What kind of policies are you going to put in place to ensure that our youths get properly educated?
Thank you very much, Majokoye. The barrister, thank you guys for joining us on the program. I'll let you guys go now so the barrister can answer the questions. Thanks for coming. Jenna, thank you very much, Majokoye. Thank you for participating.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, I will start with the last one. If I'm elected the governor of Anambra State, that alone will be massive creation of jobs for the youth. I'm still in my 40s. And most of the things will be done will be manned and managed by the youth. There will be a generational change. The youth have to take up responsibility. I spoke about, if you are connected to the what I spoke about job creation. For instance, I'm talking about creating small business loan guarantee scheme. Business loan guarantee scheme. There are so many banks that will be able to do that. Last time we spoke, I told you what I experienced as a boy that was growing up. You have the center factories. What most people do, especially in generator parts, where I had a very close friend, was that they go to India. They raise money, they go to India, not to buy parts. What they do is to buy what they call mold. They will come to Anambra. Everybody is molding. Everybody has the mold, doing oil sale and all those small spares. I spoke about getting people, greater percentage of people who are in Aba, not as a competition with my neighboring state, Abia State. No. In help, because of the situation in Aba, in helping Abia to decongest Aba, that will invite our brothers, most of the associations there, having the Anambra as their heads. You can collaborate with them, provide a structure for them, provide enabling environment, give them land, give them C of O, get a bank to assist them. They will build shops. They will build their factories. I spoke about industrial parks. If I come to the south, in the Nnewi area, you have auto industrial parks. Find somewhere else. Production of shoes and all that with a team of people that will come from Aba. These people are going to create jobs. Mgbe na-agụ akwụkwọ, a na-agba football match competition, primary school, secondary school. In addition to making them physically fit and getting the youth engaged, it creates jobs. Quite a number of people could end up getting contracts that will run into billions. There will be a lot of vocational training. People will have entrepreneurial and skill acquisition scheme. We're going to do this will create jobs. In terms of government, I said the government will not employ. In fact, the fact that I said instead of having 500 or 600 or 400 SAs, that I'm not going to have more than 11. So there's no way somebody could have said that I'm going to employ. No government will employ. And I will be on ground. I'll be a governor that will be in Anambra. These things are doable. We spoke about agriculture. Do you have an idea? If you have a poultry, if somebody is encouraged to have a poultry, where the person will have probably about 10,000 birds, do you have an idea of how many people the person could employ? These are the things I'm talking about. He spoke about PDP. He mentioned 2004. He mentioned Achiku Denwa that used Julius Berger and all that. And to push his point, he said P2B was PDP. The truth is that P2B was an African governor. He's one of us now. But he ruled Anambra State for 8 years as African governor. If you are talking about the present, then allow him to go back. You see what he did wonderfully well as a governor. I'll give him credit above average on what you have got so far. But I'm sure if he goes back as PDP governor with strong connection to the center, he will do what he has done 10 times. So we need a governor that will be connected to the center. We need a governor. You are talking about this. You are talking about inland ports and all that. The truth is that we just need somebody who understands the politics. That is what we need. I've been in National Assembly for more than 8 years. Even as a federal commissioner, I was always at the National Assembly. As we speak now, I still consult for some people. But the problem with running for election is once they are politically exposed, some people will not actually be willing to, engage your services anymore. But I understand the little intrigues. And to start it is to have a very fantastic relationship, very cordial relationship with my brothers and sisters who will be represented in the Anambra, in the National Assembly. We will be colleagues, we will be brothers, we will be friends. That will translate to a lot of things. These roads he mentioned, they are federal roads. I will not have excuse that the roads are not state roads. It will be my responsibility as Union Arch in the Anambra. If there is a federal presence in Anambra, if they have a project that is not working in Anambra, for goodness sake, if the governor cannot get the federal government to do that, who else will? I'm not going to achieve the responsibility. Who are the ones using the roads?
True.
And we are going to Anambra, we make money. I'm from Opo. I na Ego. We make money. We know what to do. I've told you, go and investigate what I have told you about UPF. Nobody is asking Obunike Ohaegbu if he has put 1 naira. The most important thing is they see the transparency. They know the amount of money that has been paid in. They see what is being done with the money. If you go to Now or General Hospital, you will see our presence. So what I'm going to do is just to provide that platform. I wouldn't know if I'm missing any of his questions.
The mining question there from
talking about mining.
Yeah.
Tell him that mining is going on even in my community.
Okay.
So he cannot say that I don't know.
We'll do that.
But who is doing so, I don't know for now. But I'm sure as a governor, I will have file of all these things. Yes. Funds will be generated. And the money we will need to run Anambra, we'll get it from Anambra. I'm telling you, the money we need to run Anambra, we'll get it from Anambra. And nobody is going to be taxed.
That's what that's what Emeka contributed. Prince Emeka Ume contributed that he wanted to know. First off, he wanted to know, do you have a poultry farm now, working, functional? And then, so have you made money from, what have you done with the money for the people? What have you done for the people with the money you made from Opo? That's not that you say that you will not take from the people, or you will not take from the state pocket. So now, if people generate, what is asking now, have you particularly generate money while you are with your poultry, if you have poultry existing now? And how does it benefit?
I told you what I did. I got some chicks.
You gave
to some people.
Yes, you said so.
I gave more out.
Okay.
The ones I trained, I even gave them out during Christmas. I didn't sell them.
Okay.
I didn't sell them. But I am happy that I succeeded in getting some people to understand that despite the fact that there's somebody who works in a community bank in my village. What he was doing before now was to wake up every morning, go to work, come back tired, and go to bed. Eventually got to know that he could just by his friends plant plantains. He doesn't feed them. He doesn't do anything. Plantain if they don't eat it. He now knows that he can go out, create small place in his compound, buy 20, 30 chicks, grow them. In Easter, he gets money for his Easter celebration. Christmas, he gets his money from there. In fact, what he does, he doesn't sell in December. He sells in January when our people are doing burials and all that. It becomes more expensive at that time. I have been able to encourage people to make money. If the governorship of Anambra State is for sale, who has money, then we'll come together, put a price tag to it, and say to whoever that pays more. You can't see me going out to deceiving myself because I'm running governor, and I'll tell you Obunike Ohaegbu Foundation that I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I don't engage in self-deception. I don't deceive myself. So tell him I said I'm not a money bag. So I'm not using my money to do anything, but I've encouraged a lot of people to make money. I know quite a number of people. If you ask me from my community, they will tell you the number of people who are privileged to be in the federal civil service now. They are not 1, they are not 5, they are not 10, they are not 20. Who will tell you that it's my intervention? It's not my intervention. God did that.
So sorry, sir. Did you, we cut you short with all the people that joined in. Do we still have more points from your list to round up, or have we covered all your list now?
I think he's frozen at the moment, Marlene. The network's issues kicked in again. Let's see if we will get him back. Let me bring him back. Yeah, but it's been quite an interesting discussion. While we wait for him to come back and round up the program, because we've been on for an hour now, in an hour and a half now. So yeah, we'll have him back now. Boris, Obunike, what the internet messed up. What we're saying is, Berlin was asking you if you have anything from the list. You know your 12-point agenda that you told us from last time you came on. If you have anything you think you're missing, if not, let's just do a recap and round up for us in, let's say, maybe 2-3 minutes before we go there. Thank you.
Right?
The internet is not again now. Chief, Barrister, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, what I'm saying, what Marlene, you can ask him the question. Go on.
Yeah, what I was saying, sir, I said we cut you short from your list, the list that you were explaining to us. Have we actually touched up all the lists, or you still have more to tell us so we can quickly run up?
Well, somehow we touched a couple of them, but we didn't in details discuss about the mega city, the fantastic plan I have on the Anambra. We didn't talk about transportation. We didn't talk about transportation. Nobody move around. People will move around.
We have time for you to talk about the mega city.
Okay, you know, Anambra State is structured to have 3 mega cities.
Yes.
Oka is the capital city, while Onitsha and Nnewi are commercial and industrial centers, respectively.
Okay.
This mega city is questionable, you know, something like transformation flash points to trigger industrial, commercial, and other economic activities. They are meant to, you know, assist in bringing income generation, create employment, and hopefully eradicate poverty. You know, efforts in the past, previous governments, for instance, they commend the development of mega cities such as Agwaka, the 3-arm zone, you know, and some estates and all that. As the governor, I will go a step further. I will expand on the commercial. I will decongest on it. I will encourage rapid development in the in case Onitsha.
You decongest Onitsha, you decongest Aba. That's a task. That's a big task.
It's a difficult task, isn't it?
It's very easy to do. And I'm telling you, okay, as a student going to Lagos on holiday, it can't do matter. People upstairs find you on the floor, yeah, it be touching your hair. It be splitting on your face. It do matter. At some point, our people decided to move out from Idumata. They went to Trade Fair. Nothing was happening. That place was abandoned. Go there today. It was transformed. They now have their own shops and all that.
Yes.
People are having difficulties doing business. Some of the structures in Onitsha needs to be knocked down in the market.
Yes.
And you are not going to do it. If you go and start building shops to get them to come and take over, you will not succeed. You don't build shops and call traders to come and take over. I made reference the last time I mentioned about such that was done in my community where people came together, fantastic idea, build shops. For over 10 years, nobody is making use of those shops. So it's something I will do in partnership with those people who are doing the business. If they're having difficulties with parking space, if they're having difficulties in having conducive environment for business, if they're having difficulties in people having access to where they are doing business, if they're having difficulties even accessing their shops, of course, having partnership with state government to move them from point A to point B, they will jump at it. Even the people who are in Onitsha, we know that is the best thing because they are not getting the best they could get. That is what I meant by the congestion. Whatever you think, for instance, whatever you think about Lagos and the congestion doing in Apapa Port, Obunike move if you don't make the ports in the east, the Warri, Port Harcourt, and the port, you have not done anything in Lagos. So when I say the congest, in Aba, it's just, you know, friendly favor to our neighbors. Aba is congested. You assist the governor of the state by inviting your brothers who are heading some of the market associations But we go see Fana. Where if the government here, America, where bank that will partner with them, they will build shops. These are part of the things I will do in expanding and decongesting where it should be decongested. Water supply in the Bayard and 1 million. There is no way in Oka you open tap media bar. It's such a shame. And these are the things that the people will, if you all we do in my house, in my village, I dug a borehole. Okay, what is that village? Forget about it. What of Newi? What happened to Newi water scheme? What happened to the one in Onitsha? What happened to the one in Oka? How do people get water? I just told you the efforts we are making to make sure we have a functional borehole in Oko General Hospital. These things I'm saying are things, you see, I am not busy moving around, mobilizing people to go and campaign for me on Facebook. I am busy trying to practicalize some of these things I intend to do if I'm made a governor by Anambra. Why won't you have water in a hospital where there is no functional water? Everybody is using borehole. Do you have an idea of the massive environmental challenge? Anyway, we don't have time. Let me just move to transportation.
Yes.
You cannot do business if there is no transportation. It's vital. Movement from one point to the other in Anambra State. And then with difficulty. The state government, from what I gathered, made efforts towards that direction. They have a bus that can take you from all the way from Ihiala, the boundary, Ihiala, down to Oka at a cheap rate.
Yes.
That thing cannot work if the government is doing it. What I'm going to do is to create a transport scheme that will ensure cheap and affordable transportation within Anambra State, in collaboration with some of these people who are into the business, National Union, road transport workers, and other major stakeholders in the industry, who provide an enabling environment for that. Lagos is doing something close to that. This BUT or whatever it's called, BRT or whatever they call it.
BRT, yeah.
BRT. They have their own lane. We may not need to create special lanes for them in Anambra, but we can encourage them. We even have our brother who could build those buses for us. What the state will do is to come in, provide the environment, make sure the all parties are on the same page. If you have a big bus, you don't even need to subsidize anything. If you have a big bus going from Ihiala to Onitsha, and the person is guaranteed of passengers that the bus stops, well, you know, big stops that will be created for them.
Yes.
If the person is guaranteed of getting passengers at every stop, price the transportation na that bus will not be the same as the one from the Onwas. This Onwas is Mitsubishi L300. I'm going Anambra.
Anambra to the core.
Do you understand me? I've done everything that should be done as a man in Anambra. Primary school, secondary school, university. We need somebody that understands the state. So I will introduce that. Of course, I have told you about Biafra Memorial Center. There is something that is closing out. Development partners.
Yes.
Support from them. Partnership is very important, and in fact, it's almost indispensable. Let me tell you what I could do. As Commissioner, Public Complaints Commission in charge of FCT, I was in charge of FCT. What the development partners are insisting on, they will shock you with their requirements and insisting that they want to know report, what have you done, how many cases have you resolved. Quite a lot of commissioners, even the chief commissioner then, who was in charge of the entire federation, didn't want to deal with them. But I moved in. Eventually they got people trained for me. At some point, 3 of officers were sent to India for training for 3 months. I will work closely with them. The only thing is that they have their targets. They need transparency. You need to open. They need to understand. No development partner will like to throw money that will be misappropriated.
That's true.
He handed about transparency. They want value for their money. Anambra State, under my watch, we create that enabling environment for them to come in and do business with us.
Thank you very much, Barrister Obunike.
Yes. You have spoken so well. You have spoken so well. So before you do your closing remarks, I just have one tiny question, not a question, an advice now. Somebody is one of the contributions somebody put on this. He said, you should please advise Anambra youths in regards to what's going on now. If you can advise Anambra youths, that's Ikechukwu on here sent that across on how to handle with the situation both in Enugu and Anambra and Nigeria as a whole right now. Because the way our youths are going, I don't want to use the word I feel, but the way the youths are going, if you can advise them on the path to follow. That's somebody's question.
What the youths need is to ensure the youth at this point should get tired of people who give them money for elections. The youth should be tired of people who hire them to insult people on the social media. The youth should be tired of people who use them as thugs. The youth, because the person who is paying you to serve as a thug, where is he getting the money from? Is his son part of the thuggery? The youth who are being hired to insult people on Facebook, that person has a wife, he has children, he has siblings. Are they equally doing the same on social media?
Fantastic.
The youth should elect one of them to be governor. The youth should take charge and take control of the governor. The youth, at 33, 40, 50, people feel that they are not yet. Who are the ones leading the world now? How old was Obama when he became the president of the United States of America? So what the youth should do is to have one of them in charge. They have what to look up to, knowing that it is possible for them to stop what they are doing. You can't have the best way to get the youth to stop whatever they are doing that is not right and focus is to allow them to be led by one of them and allow them to have one of them as a role model they look forward. If the person is this, who else? If you are the governor of a state and the youth is the governor of a state, then a grandfather is giving you money to insult somebody because he wants to go to House of Assembly or because he wants to go to Senate. You tell him no, you only want to go to the Senate yourself.
Exactly.
You only want to go to House of Reps yourself. And the cost of running elections in Anambra State may disappear. Because you see, you have to come and start talking to the people. You don't resign from your position 2-3 months to the election and come and run the election. You have nobody knows any of your opinions on any issue. You have no opinion on any issue. People will get to know your opinion, your disposition, what you do, what you think, your temperament and everything when you have assumed government, when you have assumed office. No. So I'm telling the youth that you support one of them. In fact, there is no better advice than the youths. Tell Ikechukwu on here and I said the youth should support one of them to be governor of Anambra State.
Thank you so much.
Well, Barrister, and I know you yourself, when you mentioned that you were born after the war, I said to myself, wow, you are a youth, really, because I was born after the war and I am a youth as well. So, in the Nigerian context of youth, anyway. So, but we would like to thank you very much for coming on the program. And, you know, we obviously wish you all the best in your endeavors and hope that in 2021, you're going to hopefully get the ticket for the PDP. And then with all these ideas, you've.
I will not support you. I tell you this. With what I heard today, what blew my mind was you what you're collaborating with Abba, which is Abia State, my state. I've never heard any governor mention this before.
The collaboration.
Yes. Yeah, I hope it comes to pass.
Yes.
You know, I hope this comes to pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will.
Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Spencer.
Yes, sir.
If you in a country where you have somebody in his 60s, he's the national leader of the youths, and if you go to communities, people in their 50s are the chairman of the youth. As we speak today, some of the youth leaders, even in our state, were people who were who were schoolmates and all that. So by that, looking at that, where you are, somebody in his 20s, somebody in his 20s could be a youth. But in Nigeria, you see people in their 50s consider themselves youth, starting them on Facebook and social media. So I'm not talking about youth in UK, I'm talking about youth in Nigeria.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Barrister, for being on the program. We've had on the program Barrister Obunike Ohaegbu.
Mr. Obunike Ohaegbu.
Obunike Ohaegbu. He's a PDP aspirant for the upcoming 2021 elections that's going to happen in Anambra State. I wish him all the best. And we hope that anytime soon, especially coming closer to the elections, you have time and come and speak to us again. And we'll be happy to have you on the platform anytime. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
It'll be my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Lady Marlin.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
So,
Spencer, before we go, let's just find a little time to acknowledge these people that joined us.
Yes.
Prince Emeka Ume, where did I put all their names? Here. Yes. Prince Emeka Ume, Wisdom Chiwoke. Yes. Derek Anyanwelo, thank you, Derek, for joining. Ezawa, thank you for joining. And somebody was like, a lot of people were actually saying hailing Ezawa for being part of it. Ike Chi, thank you for joining. Chris Chidi, Emeka OJ, and Chukwu Emeka Obinna. People I mentioned had so many questions they asked. Unfortunately, we cannot read all the questions because we're actually out of time. And maybe next time, because somebody is also saying we should bring him back, including Derek Anyanwelu. If we have time before 2021, we will bring him back. But then he'll probably be able to answer your questions. And also, you can also go online. You can also get on Facebook and answer your questions if you go in to check if there was any answers. Yes. Go on. Sorry.
No, and I was going to say we'd like to obviously thank those who came on live, Ijele and Mazi Okoye, that came in and asked. They made the Barrister Obunike wobble, gave him a bit of a tough time, and that's what we like to have when we have this kind of situation. So
we wasn't expecting it.
Yes, we encourage people to come in and let's question our leaders. This is the kind of thing we want to see happening. So don't see it as a program that you get involved. Contact us. We'll give you the links. Soon, Merlin, we might even start doing phone calls as well if we can.
Yes, it's an interaction program.
Yes.
Where you interact with your state people. Unlike the Nigerians, when they're doing their political campaigns, they don't talk individually with their grassroots. This is where the platform, we are both grassroots, because it's both home and abroad. You interact, whoever says he wants to come and govern you. Yes. Ask him the questions and ask him questions. If you're not satisfied, tell him straight up you're not satisfied, and don't vote for him if you don't feel he's satisfied you enough. Well, Spencer, I don't know about you. On this note, I think I have to take a bow. We have actually gone into more time than we expected. And everyone, Spencer, I give it to you to tell them about all our beautiful programs in private television.
Yes. Tomorrow, please join us. We have a wonderful program. We're going to have the Commissioner of Works for Imo State, Mr. Ralph Mosu. He's going to be with us to tell us all the projects that the governor's doing, Governor Hope Uzodimma. We're going to have his SSA on public enlightenment and information, and that's Mr. Stamford Mukedi. So, and then on Sunday, we have the big one. It's called Obako Igbo.
Yes.
And that's our Igbo program. Please join in and get involved. We want people to talk and speak and tell us, interact with our leaders. That's what in Igbo land for so long we've missed out on interaction. That's why we've set up Prime View Television. We want people to get involved. And we still have our Golden Pot of Hope, which is our charity
We're
program.
not having it this Saturday because we're still doing a lot of repackaging before we bring back Golden Port. Well, Golden Port, and you go ahead, Straight Talk and the rest of them.
Yeah, so we have the Straight Talk, which is our lifetime entertainment program and all of that. And we have the kids program called Prime View Kids. And we also have the podium, which is on Friday, which is going to be the one tomorrow. So please tune in tomorrow. Please, any questions you have, we're going to need to put this commissioner, ask him tough questions, get him to tell us what he's doing for Imo State is an Eastern state. So we need to ask the right questions. So thank you very much for being with us on the program. And we hope to see you tomorrow. Please tune in. And from me, Spencer, and then your host, Marlene, say good night, Marlene.
I'm here from Marlene. I say good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Prime View TV. New media with a difference.